Hey everyone, thank you for tuning into this video. If you're watching this, then you are meant to watch this. Today, connecting the dots, the line led me to Strava Labs. It's an interesting internet web browser application and it enables you to look at a heat map of all the last positions or sequences of positions, meaning someone's movement of people who are wearing a Fitbit wristband. For those of you who do not know what a Fitbit wristband is, it's these devices that many people these days like wearing. They measure your vitals, your calorie, energy use, depending on how much you move. So these things give off a GPS signal, among other things, which I'm assuming Strava is able to detect and correlate into a type of heat map. Heat not meaning that you actually see temperature, but heat is basically everywhere the Strava um, wristband was, the vicinity is deemed warm or hot. So, having a look at it, you'll see that so many random places have people using this wristband. Of course, as people going to work and doing their workouts, because most of these lines go over interstate highways. So these are probably people, that kind of live, eat, and sleep with their devices on. Maybe they use it as a wristwatch. So what I found interesting, because I was looking at some ring structures, and an interesting subject, because there seem to be many of them, according to Quinn Michaels. I saw this in a video on the channel of Jason Goodman, and one of his shows, Restores the Truth. Him and Quinn were talking about Strava Labs and these images. So I went back and to convince myself, because it's one thing to hear stuff on YouTube, and it's another to actually go out and do some research, and not just on YouTube, but actually really go out and read the stuff that people talk about and verify it. See, those are all elements, those are all dots, and each one of us, with our respective experience and knowledge, connects the dots in different ways, and when we share our experience, we overlay those maps that we created by connecting the dots, and we refine them. And this is what I intend. I'm not saying what anything that I'm saying here is right or not. I'm just laying out the map that I created, connecting the dots. Now let's get down to it. I'm sure you're already very curious. Um, let's start with 40%. So, one interesting thing about this location here in Illinois is its perfect ring shape. And if we go in closer, you can actually see how this is a perfect circle, literally. And if we go in much, 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 much closer, to the level where you would probably be walking past this place, I mean, it doesn't look like much. A path, a path that doesn't look perfectly straight, but pretty straight. But it gets interesting when you look at it from higher up above. The Nascot lines, nobody even noticed them until they actually flew over them. So in this case, we see that somebody was moving around this area. Was this person doing a workout? And then we see something really interesting. is that there's a path that goes into the center. Now, this looks like a normal landform, which it is, but what I find interesting is how perfect the geometry is. I took some time and actually measured the distance from here to here, and it's precisely the same as the distance from here to here and from here to here. A coincidence? Might be. Anyway, very interesting looking at this somebody having a workout in this perfectly round circle. But there's another interesting aspect that I found, and this is not all. The ring structures also appear in a place that has no roads, walkways, yet whoever moved there was moving following a perfect circle path, or elliptical as it looks like. And this is the Antarctic that I'm talking about. I'll take you to there in just a moment. And according to Quinn Michaels, the elliptic shape is due to the distortion of the images of the satellite image of that region, and that's why it seems oval. So if it's that or not, um, we don't know. We'd have to verify that. But what's interesting is, let's go and have a look at that. What I found very interesting about that location was the following. See, now we go down here to the Antarctic. A lot of ice. Yes, a lot of ice. And when we turn on the heat signature again, what we see when we move over here to the side of the Antarctic is something really interesting, because basically what we see here, I don't know if you guys can see it. I want to start in this view. So what I would find interesting to know is who does whatever they or he or she would do at the Antarctic. Are these scientists, researchers, or people that just happen to live there? Um, and an interesting thing is, well, we see this one comes from the ocean. Whoever this was landed here, maybe started here, landed here, and then went all the way over here. Then over here, the line stops. So something went on over here. Maybe they took a little break, got busy. Whatever they did, their device stopped sending a location until again they reached the perimeter of this shadow area. And so the line goes until the perimeter and it starts again at the perimeter. It seems like there wasn't just one person, because the one person from over here who went in here, let's take this in terms of time, because over here there's a time x and then the time keeps running before we see another line here or here, because it takes time to get to a certain place. And this is a satellite picture. So, and I don't know what the scale is right now because this isn't Google Maps, but if I was just to do an estimate, then this is a lot of distance. We're talking about hundreds of feet. Um, Anyways, this person came out, or someone else came out from here. Doesn't have to be come out, but whatever it was, reappeared. And if we go in closer, unfortunately, it's not. We're not able to really get close imagery of the Antarctic in the same way we are of other places. It starts kicking in and becoming clear from this distance. However, I do have a feeling that these images are not the same as the ones that we would be seeing on Google Maps. Because for some reason, I have a feeling that these look much more resolute. They have a better resolution, but could be just me. You know, the snow, the textures here, it actually looks like snow. Um, well, I can't go in closer anyway. Something interesting happens here. Um, Maybe this is a piece of mountain, or maybe there's a cave, um, or an underground complex where just people, whatever they do there, maybe they just go there and hang out and share about their day and work. Maybe they just live there. Protection from the elements. And the same happens here. So we have the line, it goes to here. So either whoever went to this point went back in a perfectly ordered way, or I can't go in closer, unfortunately, or their batteries went flat over here and over here. And last but not least, this person took a really far hike. All right, I'm gonna zoom out because this person really took a far hike till over here and decided no more. Now that's interesting in itself, but it gets interesting. See, these lines, they're quite, if you walk outside, you'll walk as the terrain dictates it. I'm assuming that this is the easiest way to move around this terrain, because people walk around stuff and so. But down here, this is the ring structure. Well, it's an elliptical shape, but and it's not completely closed. But apparently, this is because of the distortion of the images, and if they were and the angle, and if it were laid out flat and in a proper way, this probably would be a circle, apparently, but not necessarily. But even so, um, who walked here? I mean, if you have a tool to do this and look at the screen, please leave a comment in the description. I find this very interesting and intriguing that somebody moved in such a perfect way. This reminds me of the person following the path at the other ring and circular structure in Illinois that I just showed you. And that basically was like that because the person was following a path. It was threading in a path. But what about here? What was this person following? Was this person actually following something that was on the ground? Or was this somebody flying around something? Or is there actually something here that we don't see because of the resolution? Maybe there's just a scientific outpost. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. Um, I'm not here to point to anything suspicious or so. I'm just posing and asking curious questions. You know, when you see something that you don't understand and it just doesn't, and you can't rationally explain it, um, then you ask questions. And maybe I'm lacking the knowledge to know how these things fit together, but that's why we get together over here to connect the dots. And I just laid out some dots, some questions, things that came to mind and things that came to me from connecting my dots elsewhere, and or other people connecting their dots and inspiring me to find answers for dots that I've been trying to connect for a while. And we have another one over here. Somebody was moving around over here. um it is not walking, it must be movement. It's not seafaring. So this is definitely motorized movement, because it seems like you can actually, say it's on. I guess this is. I wouldn't know what these symbols are. If you ask me, this could be by water. This could be by air. This could be by foot. This could be bicycle. And I had it on all, so it shows me all types. However, the only place I get a reading for the Antarctic and what we were just looking at is if I oh, here we go. What's this? No. Here we have some walking. So over here, this is actually somebody walking, exploring this mountain area here. And then we have the other ones. This is motorized movement. It says bicycle. Um, so whoever moved here was moving with the vehicle. It's quite interesting. I don't know if you guys see this. There's interesting shades of violet and green, and if you move in and out, I'm doing this to catch the structure, so don't feel dizzy about it. I'm sorry that I did that. I'll, I was just playing around, sometimes, because there's like moments in between, like it takes time to kick in between fitting the resolution, processing the resolution, and actually displaying it when you zoom in. And it's interesting that you start seeing certain shapes and structures when you do that. See how the structure changes, but before that and in between that, you see a mixture of both. It's almost like when you're drawing a cartoon, and and they used to, back in the day, they used to flip back and forth between the pages to see the movement and progress and the change. Um, yeah, but that's not really important. But what's really interesting, maybe some of you, this video's gone already longer than I intended. I apologize for that. And if you've hung in till now, thank you so much. Um, yeah, please, if you have any ideas, help me connect the dots. Just leave a comment if you find it interesting. If you don't find it interesting, leave your comment as well, because that's part of the coin. It has two sides. So, all of you, take care, and I wish you much luck in connecting the dots that you're trying to connect. And thank you so much for watching, and please like and please promote me by subscribing to my channel. It's motivational, uh, it's just motivational. I'm not putting any ads on this, so I'm not bringing this out because of uh, any commercial intentions. I'm just sharing this with you guys. So be kind and help me share this likewise by liking, sharing, and subscribing. So take care, all of you, and goodbye.